I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. We are joined by Hanna Christina. Hello.
Hi.
Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, my name's Hanna, and I am your little match girl. That's my best introduction. Like, trust me, I'm the little match girl. Like,
Yes.
from the story, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and that's my thing. Listen, I'm not good at introductions.
That's okay. I'm not good at introductions, outros, or anything in the middle. I just keep plowing forward.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, they'll stay tuning in or they'll tune out, and either way, we're going to get done.
That's right. That's exactly that's me. It'll get done.
Well, I do appreciate you coming on. When did you get started as a VTuber?
Actually, I'm like really kind of new to this entire thing.
Mhm.
I've always wanted to be a VTuber since like about 2020. Cause like I was in grad school when COVID hit, right? And
Right.
so I was like, we got kind of laid off with nothing to do. Cause I was going for my degree in photography, and like most of my time just was spent like out like doing photos and like coming back and like editing them. So I was sort of thought to myself, well, I have this really nice computer. I want to be a VTuber.
Right.
So I thought about doing it, but it kind of never materialized, especially back then. It just, things were wild, and the scene wasn't as, I guess, like free to and like low cost to entry as
Right.
it is now.
Yeah.
And then a few months ago, probably like I think 6 months ago or so, I approached one of my friends who's an artist, and I was like, "Hey, do you wanna do that VTuber thing?" And they were so excited. They're yeah. Well, I've never made a VTuber, but let's do it. And so we just kind of worked together and cranked out Hanna, and we kind of made this special little thing together. And and that's kind of like I don't know. I like VTubing, but the thing I like most about it is the fact that I get to do this, and when someone says, "Oh my gosh, you look so cute," or they compliment anything about me, I get to be like, "Oh, well, that's not me. That's actually my artist," and I
Yeah.
get to send people to her way, and I get to do that for all my friends.
That's cool. That's a
Yeah.
great way to spread the love that way. Certainly. Did Hana turn out exactly the way you wanted? Did you give them a rough sketch and say, "Here's what I'd like to do," or did you leave it all up to them?
So we used to do pictures, like anime versions of my IRL self.
Right.
And Hana is actually based on an old image that we had made together of like, what if I was an anime girl? And so we kind of like took that and we're like, well, how can we make this look more like a VTuber? And of course I had my ideas, and she had hers. My artist was the one who really went for the monochromatic version of Hana. Her original version was more colorful and like bright and like different. There's varied ideas of like what the color palette was going to be.
Right.
And my artist was the one who really, came through with this like very monochromatic looking VTuber. Really stood out in a lot of ways to the VTuber sphere right now.
Yeah.
Because it takes a talented artist take two colors and make an entire like concept out of it.
Yeah. Absolutely. And the colors absolutely fit the story. They it wasn't like you picked citrus colors to it wouldn't have made a whole lot of sense. But the colors that you picked do absolutely match the lore, which is perfect.
Yeah.
And is that something that you can reflect back on your photography as being a catalyst for this type of thing, or did you really rely on the artiste?
I think when I'd like to say that I had a lot to do with this.
Then go ahead, say it.
And I did have a lot to do with it. The overall image of her,
Uh-huh.
they are, of course, drawn by my and my rigger who made my movements come alive.
Mhm.
But I think the really great thing is something I learned in grad school. And this is the thing I always go to whenever I'm doing anything in art. Uh, and VTubing I think is an art,
Mhm.
and that's something I really like to bring, at least try to bring. And that is when I was in grad school, I was told that my work would always be subpar if I only ever looked at my own work.
Mm.
And as I think any creative, especially in the VTuber sphere, you have that idea of collaboration and
Mhm.
working together to make something better and bigger. And so one of the most important things for me when Hanna was kind of materializing was, okay, well, if I'm conceptualizing the story, these ideas, and I have my artist drawing, but we need someone to rig, and I wanted people from a variety of backgrounds working on this. So I have my artist, me, and my rigger, and we are all from different continents. And I love that. I think that's really interesting because it gives us all a very specific background
Yeah,
that we brought to this.
yeah, it's something that you couldn't have done 20 years ago.
No.
No,
Oh,
and barely 10 years ago, you might be able to come up with a concept, but the ability to do it certainly wasn't really there. Um,
yeah.
there was another thing that's great about this particular medium is that I've got a chance to talk with people that are standing upside down from me on the other side of the planet, from my house. When I started in radio back in the Stone Age, you couldn't have done that without paying a lot of money to a phone company, and then it would have sounded like you were yelling into a can full of beans because it would have been a terrible signal from start to finish. But now with this technology, you can collaborate with anybody on the planet that has a computer and has a setup immediately.
And it's so much more than just being able to collaborate because it's also being able to like see someone
Mm-hmm.
rendered in a way that you couldn't. Almost not even an idealized self. I know a lot of YouTubers like to talk like, "Oh, this is my idealized self," and I'm not gonna lie. If I looked like Hana in real life, I'd be pretty doing well. But it's one of those things where I can I, I'm up around 5 in the morning when my Oshi is streaming, and I'm watching this person in Germany, you know,
Right.
react to things live. And I can see their facial reactions and their voice. I can hear their voice. I can see like their eyes widen. And there's something about the way that you can just view a VTuber and like just watch them, even not even collaborate, just watch them, that is almost so special. It's like having someone right there,
Mm-hmm.
but it feels safe enough to where someone like me that is basically doesn't want to leave their house ever.
Yeah.
They I feel like safe enough to talk and more active.
And interact and entertain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you a person that really wanted to be an entertainer? Folks who go into photography probably don't fit that category, but were you a person who wanted to get on stage?
Uh, I I wanted to play music when I was younger. I did a lot of entertaining,
Mm,
but as always as a group.
mm,
So whether it was in a band, I drummed, so I was always in the back.
cool.
Uh, I did color guard
Okay.
and drum corps. So, it was always flashy and always things that excited and they were full of energy, but at the same time, I was part of a group.
Yeah.
And
Not the main
and I
focus.
think yeah, and I think a lot of photographers are like that. They can be part of a group and I can be too, but I'm much better behind a camera where you can't being a VTuber is really difficult because holding your attention, now that is something I'm not used to alone.
Well, it can be tough, but it's also something you can learn and something that you can, if you're really wanting to, get in and learn how to talk with people, to people. Um, when I was doing the radio for all those years, I always took the idea that I am being invited into somebody else's house. I'm the guest. They were kind enough to turn on the radio and have me on there. Now I'm going to do my best to tell them what's going on, whether it's with sports or news or whatever I was doing. I'm the guest, and I'm here there to entertain that person listening to the radio. Um, there's some of that I think in VTubing too, for the folks who are able to keep audiences. They keep coming back for the person and that personality.
I think that the reason I watch YouTubers, I like the art, but I like the person too, and I have friends that are VTubers that I know IRL that
Mm.
I just know as VTubers. And it's really different. I had for instance, I have a friend, IRL friend. We know each other, and then we both like started VTubing around the same time, and so they yeah, our relationship is very different as talking to each other and texting each other as like people than as VTubers because like we don't really collaborate or anything, and it's not that we're not best friends. It's
Mhm.
just that our VTubers aren't like we entertain in ways that just aren't the same.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I hope people realize that too. When people are looking for collaborations, whether it was on the radio in the old days, on television, or any type of thing, it's not necessarily anybody's fault that it doesn't necessarily turn out good. I mean, these folks could like each other, enjoy each other, but when you put them in that situation, it just doesn't fit. That doesn't mean anything away from the microphone. Just in that situation, it just doesn't fit.
Oh, but it could be like I used to love the old radio plays of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh
I've
yeah,
probably listened to most of them. Especially the ones that have been archived on YouTube and stuff.
hmm,
Which is great for technology. And
yeah,
so it's like one of those things where it's like I couldn't be on that. You wouldn't want to bring me to be playing, this week entry on like the waiter at the restaurant at the end of the universe. And
yeah.
like, you wouldn't want to bring me on to do that.
That's right.
I couldn't collaborate for that.
Yes. Yeah, but but there's other things though. If it made sense for what you're doing on as a VTuber, or if there's if it's just kind of a one-time thing, there's a lot of different ways to do it. And I hope that VTubers figure that out, and the folks who are in the chat figure it out too. There's not necessarily a reason why something does or doesn't work. Sometimes it just clicks. Sometimes it doesn't. And that's just the only thing you can really you take from some of these things. Now, as far as what you're doing on the channel now, what types of games are you streaming?
So right now I'm perpetually stuck in the 90s and early aughts. So I play a lot of retro stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I play on original hardware, which is something I think is really cool. So
Oh,
I've been playing like a lot of PlayStation 1 stuff, a lot
yeah,
of PlayStation Vita, PlayStation. I just got a PlayStation 3 with backwards compatibility, so I
that,
can play that.
that's good.
But we I think the thing the thing I'm most like I'm really excited for is I play competitive card games in my real life.
Now, what is that one about?
I've been so I play Card Fight Vanguard,
Uh-huh.
We Cross, and One Piece competitively. Like I go travel and play.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna say that I have placed nationally in a We Cross, and I've never won a tournament in the other two, but I have gotten very good at some of them.
Mm.
And I'm not gonna tell you who I am, just that
Yeah.
I'm
Just
up there.
yeah. And they're on the board. Just they're on the board. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm on the board.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited to eventually bring that to my channel, because I'm trying to find people to collaborate with and just not even that, but just like talk about card games, because there are a lot of really awesome card game streamers, but
Mhm.
it's kind of weird to, like, I guess, straddle the line of like, well, I want to play other things. I don't just want to do card games.
Right. Right.
But I don't want to just do old retro games. Like sometimes I want to play or something.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, that's up to
yeah,
you. I mean, you'll be able to once you get that core audience. Hopefully, they'll stick with
yeah,
you no matter what you're doing. And then again, we talked a little bit before. They're not necessarily coming back for the games, although you'll have a few. They're coming back for the person playing them.
that's right.
Yeah, and
Um,
if you get that good base, then you can work off of that.
and you know what? I think that's the most difficult thing right now is starting to really do the build. So I've got some people in my community that are really great. I have a small but mighty community. Uh, who's like always kind of there, always pushing me forward. I'm really lucky to have, as quickly as they have materialized, found a small community that appreciates not, like, I guess, what I'm doing. They enjoy it. I have had fan art made, which is kind of the first time I ever had my own fan art
Now, now tell
presented to me.
now tell me about
Made me
that. This
cry.
you didn't have this commissioned. You didn't have
No,
your friends do it. Somebody just because they enjoyed your content, enjoyed you, did fan art. Tell me how that felt.
I I cried the first time I saw it.
Oh,
The very first time I got fan art, I was after a stream. It was a couple hours later, and it was this silly little, like, um meme edit, and
yeah.
accompanied with a drawing, and the drawing was super cute, and it was just me saying hi, and the meme edit was like the Chad VT. It's like the beta VTuber versus Chad Hanna. And it's so it was so silly, but like it was just funny, and like it connected with me in a way that, like, I guess other art that I have made hasn't.
Hmm.
Because like I've had people ask to exhibit my art in their gallery, or
Right.
buy my art from a gallery to take home, stuff like that. But there's something different when you know that you've collaborated on something with a group of people, and someone is enjoying this so much from the comfort of their own home that they wanted to take time out of their life to make something that, let's be honest, is, when you're my size,
Hmm.
probably only I'm gonna see,
Hmm.
and the people in my community. So you're not just making it for the community, and it's like I enjoy you people so much that I want you to have.
that's that's gonna hit you right in the feels. That'll catch you right between the eyes, no matter where your guard is. And
Nah, dry eyes here, dry eyes here. I'm strong.
You don't have to be strong. You're a VTuber. Just put the model up. You're fine.
Uh, there.
No, but seriously, that is a great explanation of it. And you're the first person I've had really kind of explain that feeling on these interviews. It's almost like a validation, I would imagine, um, that you're doing something that people enjoy. You're enjoying it. They're enjoying it. It feels right.
Yeah, yeah, and that's I'm be really honest that it means something because just jumping into the space, as I'm a queer uh I'm person in real life. I don't really know how to say words.
Yeah, don't
I am
worry.
part of the LGBTQ family
Hmm.
in IRL, and so it was really weird because like people will be like, "Oh, hey, what's with your voice?" And like I'll get like the mean comment every once in a while. It'd be like,
Yeah,
you sound like a boy," or like something like that,
yeah,
and it's like, well, it's something that I don't know. I told my artist I might be so I might be,
yeah.
but my model isn't.
Yeah, yeah. It's
And like that was a big thing for me.
yeah, and it really has to. I mean, again, I mentioned validation. That's kind of a cold word to use for it, but I think it's correct in that in because you're going through stuff I'm never going to go through in my life as far as that goes. Um, but it's got to be amazing to know that somebody gets you. So somebody says, "Yeah, this is you. Yeah, I agree with you. This is how I see you, and it it jibes with how you feel about yourself."
Yeah. I think the very first thing I ever had do relatively okay was a clip of me playing Silent Hill Origins, and there was like white powder everywhere, and they were like, "Oh, there's white powder. I wonder what it's used for." And it was very clearly,
Right.
cocaine.
Mm.
Uh, or sorry, it was stuff, and
Oh, it's okay.
you know, and I'm just like, well, it is the '90s, and for some reason that did gangbusters. And like I'm like, well, I'm glad everyone gets my stupid humor. And the fact that like you can do stuff like that, you can make dumb jokes, clip it, throw it on TikTok, have 5,000 people see it, and be like, bet,
Yeah,
thank you for that.
yeah,
And even if like 20 people only see it,
yeah,
that's 20 people that weren't seeing this ever.
yeah, yeah. That you have a really really good outlook for this, and a really good head on your shoulders for this. Um, and I being an old man, and I am an old man at this point. Having grown up in the '70s and '80s, I don't have any idea what folks in the LGBTQ etc. community are doing. I'm just trying to make everybody comfortable at this point because I don't like people not getting along. Um, and to see that someone has put themselves out there and to get recognition and validation for that, that makes an old man feel pretty good. And I'm glad you're getting that.
And it was scary, and I think it is still scary. And as you get bigger, it just gets more scary.
Mm,
Because you always, especially as a trans, you always risk that one tweet or that one post or that one anything leaving the circle
mm-hmm.
of comfort, that going out of the VTuber sphere or out of the LGBTQ sphere into the main line, and someone seeing it and going, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna ruin their day."
Oh yeah, yeah,
But I
yeah.
I have a lot of like queer and trans tubers I look up to,
Mm-hmm.
when I'm thinking about what I want to do. And so I think walking walking in the footsteps of really wonderful creators, and I'm just trying to find my own path.
Mm. Yeah, it sounds like you're doing a good job of it. At least here at the start. Now, you've already got the mindset. You know that once you get bigger and bigger, your target is bigger and bigger, and you
Oh
have
yeah.
more people are going to want to take a shot. Um, and sometimes you just got to suffer the slings and arrows on occasion. Um, it doesn't make it right. It just makes it stupider on a bigger level. And you have to build up against it. But I it's something that I'll never have to face as far as that goes. Is having so many people support you and then having one person deflate the balloon. Um, and if someone hits the mark and really just throws everything off, I hope you don't have to deal with that. I
No, rarely.
Yeah.
And you know what? Here's the thing about dealing with stuff like that. It's like those TikTok videos with the guys that are threatening to bust the balloon or break the thing, and they're like, I'll do it any minute now," and they're never gonna do it.
Mm,
And that's the thing that is tricky because like I've had a few bits where people have gotten mad at me and I've said the wrong thing apparently or stood up for the wrong thing or been accused of just being like a V tweeter, like
yeah.
like you don't do this enough, you don't do that enough, and people are gonna get upset at you no matter what you do. But at the end of the day, you need to make sure that you go to bed and you're happy with what you did. Like, because I think that would be the worst thing ever is if I all of a sudden tomorrow got approached by one of my dream collaborations
Mm,
and they were like, I saw your work. I love it. Everything you got. Oh my God, it's amazing. Let's work together. Like, let's do a stream together. And this would propel my VTuber to like unknown heights.
right.
But they saw something that I wasn't proud of. And that's why they wanted that. And that would be the most upsetting.
Well, that is a great mindset, and as long as you continue to be proud of what you're doing, and enjoy what you're doing, and the people are enjoying what you're doing, that's a win for everybody.
Yeah, right?
It's
I mean,
a, it
this is how I blow off steam.
yeah, yeah. It's a big win for everybody. Now, let's get back to your channel real quick here, because
Yeah, no problem.
I want to know something. What are your plans for your channel in the short future? Have you got any big things coming up?
Gosh, my birthday is coming up in August.
Mm,
Uh so I will be doing I have plans for my birthday. I do have plans for my birthday. I will be doing a 24-hour stream for my birthday,
oh,
which I don't know. It'll be my first time ever streaming for that long. I've tested the waters by streaming and doing content creation for like 10 to 12 hours,
ouch.
but yeah, I'm actually shooting to try and do a full day of content. I've talked to some friends. We're kind of like looking at stuff. So
Mm,
hopefully it'll be a little bit for everything.
hmm
To celebrate my birthday. Um, I think in the short term, I'm really just focusing on that.
mm,
Trying to have my birthday celebration.
yeah, yeah. Well, that sounds
In
good.
the long, yeah,
In the long term,
in the long term, I'm trying to. I guess like my big goals for this year when I started was to, make affiliate.
hmm
Of course, everyone got to start somewhere.
right,
Um, have 50 people in my Discord. So like start, have like active people and kind of make
right.
a little community. And then my big thing was to collab. I have someone I want to collaborate with. And my goal was to collaborate. We will see. We will see. I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to jinx it.
We'll end on a cliffhanger. Who is that going to
Yeah. Naming names, that's no fun. But no, if I do good enough, hopefully by Christmas, you will see a fun collaboration.
Well, I tell you what, you got to keep us updated on what's going on.
Oh my.
Get a hold of me again when we get near the birthday celebration, and we'll do an update. And then when the collaboration happens, also get a hold of us because we want to know who it is first. You got our interest piqued. How dare you?
Mm-hmm.
My interest.
Listen, I know nothing more than how to leave you wanting a little bit extra.
my interest hasn't been piqued in 20 years, and here you go digging it out.
I'm the little match girl. Listen, I would be nothing if I could not sell you on an idea, and this idea is matches. So if you ever want, come by, buy a match.
Hanna, I do appreciate it. It's great to meet you, and I wish you all the success. And again, please get a hold of me, and we'll do an update here soon. Okay?
Awesome! I had so much fun. This was blast.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.